Hello, world history students. This is Mrs. Politsky, and I have got notes for Chapter 15, Section 4, the Counter-Reformation. So as we go along, please fill in as you complete your notes here. Take a look at your first couple items here. Talking a little bit about the Counter-Reformation before we really begin here. Counter-Reformation was the Catholic Church's response to the Reformation. And it began in little ways. Girolamo Savonarola called for many church reforms, such as having churches melt down ornaments to provide food for the poor, convinced others to burn jewelry, mirrors, and trinkets, and to establish new religious to work to reform the church. And as a result of that, we saw the rise of the Jesuits. The Jesuits who were started by St. Ignatius of Loyola. The Jesuits chose to spread Catholicism through education and not by force. And we talked a little bit about that when we were discussing some things that happened in the Far East. Other things that came about, one of the probably the biggest reforms came from what happened at the Vatican. In number 3, the Catholic Reformation began when Pope Paul III called for a council of bishops to meet in 1545. This council was referred to as the Council of Trent. And during the Council of Trent, there were 6 reforms. One, it was specified that salvation was achieved through faith and works. The Catholic Church's tradition was equal to that of the Bible as a source of truth. The Latin language would be the only language of the Catholic Church. The Council of Trent also forbid the sale of indulgences. And clergy was ordered to obey strict rules of behavior. Each diocese was also given the opportunity to establish seminaries and schools. Moving onward. Number 5 and 6. If I can get that. The Inquisition was a court that was run by the Catholic Church whose main function was to guard the church against Protestant ideas. The Inquisition was considered an abuse of power because people were put on trial or tortured or executed as a result of being guilty. Number 7 and 8. Women and the poor were most often executed for allegedly being witches. The Reformation and the Counter-Reformation affected politics and government in that it softened the harsh rule of colonial governments, encouraged the development of independent states, which eventually is going to lead to this thing called nationalism, and caused political power to be separated from the church. Number 9 and 10. The Catholic Reformation worked to stop Protestantism by reforming Catholic doctrines and practice and by reclaiming land that was now Protestant. Several areas of Europe remained Protestant despite the Catholic Reformation, partly because of religious beliefs, but also to prevent money from going from the local countries and local leaders back to the church. And as a result, we had a series of wars that took place. Number 11 and number 12. In Germany, primarily, or what would become Germany, there were many royalty, princes, that supported Protestantism to increase their power. Townspeople, particularly merchants, supported it because it helped their businesses. And number 12, as a result of the Counter-Reformation, the Italian Wars and the Peasant Wars were fought between Protestants and Catholics. All right, hope you got everything. Thank you very much.